I'm Rachel Price and welcome to my podcast, Not Just Making the Tea, a show where we talk about the realities of our career and life choices whilst made at school and college. It's all about celebrating the parts that don't go to plan as much as those which do. With every chat, we explore what life skills there are to be learned and how they can influence and help us to succeed. This season, the focus is on key skills and the attributes which we all need to be more successful in our everyday lives. I hope that you enjoy listening, find the topics thought-provoking, entertaining, and that they add some positive vibes to your day. So on that note, let's get started with today's topic. How to handle the up and down days of unemployment. This may seem an odd topic to talk about here, especially on a podcast that talks about the positive choices that we make. But at some stage in your life and mine, we will all possibly find ourselves in the situation of being unemployed, whether through our own fault or because of other circumstances. Being unemployed can be tough, but it's also an opportunity to make personal changes and to go and find work which you genuinely love. So picture this, you're out on a hike, almost to the top of the mountain. It's so close, you've got it in your sights. You know that feeling? The feeling of accomplishment and that burst of adrenaline that pushes you that little bit further and makes you make it to the top. Of course, when you get to the top of the mountain, it seems like the hard part is over. But you then realise that you still have to hike all the way down. And that's the easy part, right? Wrong. It never is. Whatever you think, you still have to get down the mountain and in one piece. This picture, this hike, this mountain, this is the reality of unemployment. I know this because I'm actually living it. Much like the hike, some parts of it are tough, some parts are exhilarating, and some parts are even exciting. It certainly has its ups and downs. When COVID reached us here in Dubai, everything stopped. The schools closed, the malls had major restrictions, and the new normal was to work from home. Well, I work freelance, so going into schools to support students and then also building my own projects, that wasn't a good time for me. We've had 6 months so far of this unknown, and only now are the schools reopening, and even that has its own challenges. Honestly, I've had days when I wake up feeling like I could conquer the world, and then there are some days when I wake up feeling that the world is conquering me. Though it's easy to get down on myself during this time, I've trained my mind to think of this period as a positive learning experience and an opportunity to find out what works for me. For you too, there will undoubtedly be many ups and downs of your unemployment journey, but it's important to think of the experience as a stepping stone to your next big adventure. And honestly, unemployment can be a full-time job in itself. It requires a lot of effort poured into job searches, applying, interviewing, networking, and so much more. So here are my favourite quick tips for staying positive and using your I'm in between jobs time wisely. Plan your day. Most of you will have heard me say this or something similar before, but you need to pretend that you're at work. Whether it's getting up and dressed at a sensible time, or writing out a daily to-do list, or making a list of goals for the week. Having something in writing will take away the sense of scatteredness that you may feel when wading through your job hunt. Set out clearly the activities you wish to achieve and monitor them. Track your job applications. This one I try to keep up to date with, but sometimes even I get a little bit lost. Try to keep an Excel sheet of all of the jobs that you've applied to, maybe even the ones that you want to apply to. Beyond tracking just the title of the job, make sure that you record the date that you applied and to whom, so that you know when to follow up. You could even include the contact information of the person you're reaching out to for being really organised. Physical activity is key. Exercise for at least 30 minutes a day. You will feel so much better that you did. Exercising will clear your mind and help you really focus on what needs to get done. Even if it's just a walk around the block, that small amount of exercise can make a huge difference. For me, it's a cycle on the turbo trainer, listening to a podcast, or a Pilates set with music. It allows my headspace to reset and evaluate where I've been and what's coming up next. This may sound counterintuitive, but scheduling breaks. It is important to take small breaks from job hunting throughout the day so that you don't get too overwhelmed. By allowing your brain to focus on something that isn't job related for even just a small amount of time, you'll be able to recharge and return to it with more clarity, stamina, and enthusiasm. Be realistic here. If you are banging the same drum constantly, it starts to all sound the same and become dull. You don't want to come across as this and just going through the motions, but as someone who would be a great asset to a company. So you need to get and feel excited about applying for job roles. Get a good night's sleep. It can be very easy to sleep in or to go to bed late when you're unemployed. Remember that job hunting is a full-time job and that you have to get adequate rest to achieve your goals. Develop a sleep routine that works for you so that you can get the most done throughout the day. Practice confidence. The worst thing you can do when you're unemployed, but which is probably the easiest thing to do, is to lose your self-esteem and confidence. Please remember that you will find another job. It may take some time, but it will happen. Having a positive mindset throughout this time is essential to achieving your goals. On any given day, you'll be going up and down that mountain. You will have days where you doubt your ability to find your next paycheck. And then there will be days where you feel like you could take over the world with your job hunting abilities. Whatever kind of day you're having, remember that this is just a stage of your life and that it can change you for the better if you let it. Use this time wisely to focus on building your skills and reflect upon what you really want in work and life and find your balance. Although there are many hurdles that accompany unemployment, finding work that you truly love is worth it in the end. So that's our topic for today. I hope you found it interesting and helpful. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If you've enjoyed this episode, then subscribe and get new episodes sent to you weekly. You can do that for free via Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast and more. I appreciate everybody who takes the time to listen, so please subscribe, like, tell your friends and send me any comments and feedback. Also, check out the Instagram page, Not Just Making the Tea, for more information and updates. For activities and resources, check out the Learning Hub on educationyala.com and subscribe. Thank you once again, keep safe, chat soon. Have a great day.